all playing. It's incredible. What was that? This is Ray playing. Yeah, now we're having the B flat minor scherzo. how long have you worked on this?
It's been like 3 months.
Okay.
But it's probably like 5 months.
Okay, like on and off kind of thing. Yeah, okay. Wonderful. It's such a great piece. You're bringing so many beautiful things to it. You really are. There are quite a few times in this where you're just going so fast that you don't need to, and it would be a big help if you didn't. You know what I mean? Honestly. All right, so let's start right at the beginning, because I think I have some helpful things. I've played this quite a bit myself over the years, so I know what it feels like to play it. One of the hard things right at the opening, right, is having all the notes speak, because sometimes it sounds like this kind of thing. So just try that. Yeah, just a nice triplet. Like, I want to hear all the notes, because it's not that. Right, try that once more. Good, all right, keep going. All right, what I want to say about this, because it's very hard, dum, dum, da, dum, dum. You're almost double dotting. Dum, dum, ba, bum, bum. If you could think about it, that it's slightly longer than you might think, because we panic, we get to that, because it's very annoying. Dum, dum, da, dum, bum, right? And especially if we shortchange it rhythmically, then it becomes really, really hard to play it, right? So just try it right there, and just think for a minute, dum, ba, bum, bum, that the 8th note is not quite as shortchanged as you're doing. To the 3rd beat of this bar with the musical line. And if you can, think about it as a musical line, not just, okay, very often with something like that, we're like, okay, we're just going to conquer this, and that doesn't help, right? So think, don't shortchange it, and then have it go, dum, ba, dum, bum. That's the idea. That's the idea. I think if you practice it like that, like consciously not double dotting, dum ba bum bum, then it'll be easier for you. Ultimately, if you go too far and then it's dum ba bum and it's too slow, that 8th note, you'll be able to speed it up. But for a while, I would practice that dum ba bum bum, so you get that sensation in your hand. Because again, you find those awkward, right? I do too. So that's normal. All right. One thing to be aware of, I always find this so interesting. Sotto voce, but then pianissimo here. So this is probably even softer. So try playing that as soft as you can. See how soft you can do it. Good. Now, have your hand help you get to the F. Yeah, that's it, right? Because what you were doing, you were just going da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. So hard to control it. If you just tiny bit, da-da-da-da, da-da-da. Yeah. And make sure you hear in your head, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. That's a triplet, right? It's not a grace note thing. It's da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Right? Okay, good. All right. Now, yeah, all of these guys, just practice it with, it's not dum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, dum, ba-bum, bum, ba-bum, bum. I think will help more. Now, these guys, how are you, in the right hand, let me sit for 1 minute. Because so much, I mean, different pianos do these things differently. Something like this. How I like thinking about it is, I'm just shifting the hand. I'm not trying to go, sorry, I'm thinking. Whoops, sorry. You know what I mean, the difference? So you're not, what are the notes here? You're not trying, it gets too easy to miss. You just shift, play just your right hand there for a minute. Yeah, shift the whole hand. Da 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 da. Yep. Were you thinking of it that way? You're not sure, okay. But I think that could help you, because all of a sudden that's difficult there, because all of a sudden it's so exposed and it goes so fast. right? If you just think about shifting the hand, again, same with arpeggios. You can think about it, you can think about da 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 da, right? Connect, or da 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 da. Just shifting the whole hand, which I'm more a fan of because I think it promotes greater accuracy with it. All right, now, here when you go, yes, it's con anima, but you took off. You played it so fast. And you don't have to. There's no reason why you have to. Because what ends up happening to the music is it gets so breathless, right? That we can't keep up. It's just constantly falling forward and too breathless. You're very musical. I would take an edge off the tempo, not push the tempo, and just enjoy the beauty of the music here, right? There's no reason that con anima is a very small marking. It's not a new tempo, truly. Can you go from here? It's awkward.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you just spend time, just you and your left hand working on it?
Yeah.
Maybe a lot. Honestly, I always, in Chopin, very often it's this, melody and accompaniment, and the accompaniment can be very awkward. All of this da 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 da. And so I spend a lot of time just practicing the left hand, because the left hand ultimately is just providing the harmonic underpinnings, and it's so accompanimental. But if we're not playing, if it's not, we haven't worked on it enough, then it will interfere with the melody line, right? If we're struggling with it at all, and I think you need to have a lot of motion. It can't be da 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 da. You have to get that wrist going to help, because some of these expanses are bigger than our hand can handle, right? Just try under tempo for me. Let's just hear a little bit of your left hand, quite under tempo. Yeah, even tiny bit slower than that, yeah. Good. I'm sorry, I'm putting you on the spot here, I'm sorry. But that's the idea. Really, in a very disciplined way, it probably wouldn't take you that long if you just isolate your left hand. Just really spend some care. And I have this rule with myself I apply most days of my life, which is we all have parts, moments in everything that we play that it's a problem, and we know it's a problem, and sometimes we don't solve it because we haven't figured out a solution. And then in the performance, we get to that spot, we get stressed out. Sometimes we'll get through it and it'll be fine. Other times it won't. But so I have a rule with myself. Every single day, I'm taking one of those problems, and that's it. I'm not going to bed tonight until I solve this problem, right? Whether it's a fingering issue, whether it's that I need to practice it more. Sometimes it's the tiniest little part of a phrase, but I'm sure you all know the feeling that your pulse kind of goes up because you're getting to this spot. You didn't really completely figure out how to make it work for you, right? This is one of those, this left hand here. That's one of those that you just need to spend some quiet, calm, practice it slow. And I think it'll really help you, because again, you're playing the right hand beautifully, but the left hand is what's holding you back, right? So just you'll do that? Okay, thank you. Honestly, I recommend it because it works. All right, all of this, again, there's no tempo change in all of this, right? And you got going. So I know our overarching tempo of this scherzo is presto, right? But here you were just pushing forward. And when we push forward, then the music's controlling us. We're not controlling the music, right? And so it's really important to just remind ourselves, am I rushing here? Is that making me so that I can't play it as well as I'd like? And I just felt if you could just cut back on some of these tempos, it would be, you would have more control, right? Okay. Now, same thing in, let me sit for 1 minute. These guys, right? Oops. So how I think of this is you're just shifting. What are the notes? Don't, I'm not doing that, I'm going one gesture, jump up, but you need to practice that jump. So that is one gesture. Right? Because it's so stretched out, and unless you have enormous hands, it's going to be a little bit awkward. It just is the nature of the writing. Try that for me once, real slow. Just go. Then shoot your hand up. Don't even play the next part of the phrase. Yep. That's it. Okay? And do that 100 million times every day, and you'll play great. Okay? Okay. Then here we talked about this similar thing, just shifting the hand. Okay, good. Now, the middle section of this, I guess I can't justify having it be such a very different tempo. You know what I mean? It was all of a sudden, it was like maybe andante at best, right? And do you have a good, like, thought about that's okay?
This is sostenuto, so I was like trying to make it bring up the
Yeah, exactly. And it is sostenuto, but sostenuto's not a tempo, right? It's just, so sostenuto is just, let me sit for a moment. It's sort of voce and sostenuto. So, we're at a tempo of dum, that kind of thing. So here, dum, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Sostenuto is like hyper legato, a sostenuto, right? But all of it, because then what ended up happening, all of this, then all of a sudden you suddenly took off there. I would love to see the relationship of this tempo with the next, all the same. Doesn't mean you can be creative with how you shape it. So that say, because you were doing, doesn't have to be. And when you control the tempo, then you can do that many more creative things within it. If it's just flying by, you don't have control over all the creative ideas that you might want, and all the color and the shaping, right? So just try the beginning of this trio, or this middle section for being. Don't think about it so much as it's not a new tempo, it's a new feeling, right? Those are two very different things, right? It's just a new feeling. Good, keep going. You know what I do right there? Take that with this thumb, so that you're not, and if it's clean, great. If it's not clean, right? Try that. Just go from right here. Yeah, there you go. Is that easy? Okay. Now, ornaments are meant to ornament. So they're not meant to be like, oh, look at me, I'm ornamenting. They're just there to, the phrase is, it's just that he decides, whoops. We don't want them to be, I exaggerate, but they're just there to kind of fancy it up a little bit. They're not there, we should not notice the ornament, right? Always, whenever there's a passage with ornaments in it, play the passage with no ornaments so you can hear what the musical line is, and then go ahead and add the ornament. Okay, your ornaments were becoming too, they were popping out. All right, try that once. See if you can make them a little more elegant. You know what? Use your wrist a little. Yes. You know what I do for that ornament? I do this. 1, 3, 2. Try that. Yeah. Isn't that easier? Okay, he was going da da da. That's harder. What I do is 1, 3, 2. All of a sudden you can just twirl your wrist and there it is. All right. Always think about your fingerings. Okay, try one more time. That's the idea. That's the idea. Yeah, just I put you on the spot. Just when you're by yourself, just experiment with that 1, 3, 2 fingering. I think it's going to change your life. All right, all right. Now let's go forth here with this passage. Da, da, da. And again, all that he puts here is espressivo. He doesn't put any kind of new tempo working, right? So play it really quite relaxed. Let's hear what it sounds like. Okay, good. Now, I want you to try playing that. The tempo you just did, not taking any rubato, not taking any time. Let's hear it once completely straight, just to hear what it sounds like. Okay, yeah. So, but when you're doing it, let me sit. When you're doing it just with a straight tempo, I don't want you to do this. That's not what I was looking for. Just one tempo. Right? Because you need, before you get fancy with any phrase, you have to understand what is the bass line. What did he write? What he wrote is this. Okay, now if I, within that, in wanting to make it more beautiful, I want to take time, that certainly can't happen every bar. That can happen in a 4-bar phrase maybe once. And so you can't, like, what we always have to fight as musical beings is being indulgent, right? We didn't write this music. What's our job? Our job is to interpret this music. We didn't write this. It's not, I'm not allowed to say, sorry, Chopin, I didn't like what you wrote. I'm going to take time whenever I want, right? So if you're going to take time, you need to have a reason for it. It can't just be, well, I like it that way. That's not a reason, right? Does that make sense? Okay. I mean, and I really mean that very, very seriously. It's really, really important that we're not indulgent with how we're playing music. Our bass line is doing exactly what the composer wrote. We can start there, we're in a good starting place. Then from there, we can then start interpreting what the composer wrote. But first we need to do what they wrote before we can interpret what they wrote, right? Okay. Now, this passage as well, Ray, I thought is leggero, but again, leggero is not a new tempo, right? Leggero, what it means? Yeah. So it's not a new tempo, and you play this so prestissimo. I was like, oh my God. We don't ever want to feel that way when we're listening to somebody play that oh my God, I hope it's good. So can you go from somewhere before here, and when you get here, play the same tempo, right? Here, where can you go from? Can you go from here? Okay. need to figure out how you're getting from pattern to pattern, right, with your hand. So another great helpful thing when you're playing a running passage like that is the closer you can have your fingers to the keys, the better. Because if you're coming from far above, unless there's a really good reason for it, then there's more chance for inaccuracies. If you're coming, plus it's more tiring, you're just using extra motion. So as much as we can try and find the most concise motion with our hand or with our arm when we're playing, that's what helps us the most, all right? So just try experimenting with that when you're just practicing yourself, all right, and see. All right, so let's see. So you're gonna promise me going forward with this middle section that it's not a new tempo?
Yes.
Did I convince you? Okay, good. All right. All right. You know, same exact concept here. Da 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 da. Just shifting the hand. Da 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 da. Right? And then it just makes it so much more playable. Again, I see agitato. I understand that I see agitato. Agitato is not prestissimo, right? And you'll just you can play it. If you're going too fast, there's just no, you're not going to be able to play it, right? If it's beyond what it should be. So just when you see agitato, it's an emotion. It's not a speed. Okay? I mean, it's a little bit of a speed. I don't want to exaggerate. Here, take your time. Da da dum da 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 dum ba dum. Here, you can only do it so fast, right? Okay. Let me see. Again, I feel like if you just take an edge off a lot of your tempos in this, you'll have more control over what you're doing, right? Because you won't get to some of these passages where it's like you're kind of, you know, we all have these passages where we're kind of holding our breaths, hoping for the best. And so then it's 50-50, you're gonna do the best. Again, here, there's no accellando, there's a più mosso here, right? These are still a triplet, by the way. It's not. It's three notes making up a triplet. It almost sounded like you're doing it like a grace note. Dum, right? It's hard, but we need to dum, ba-da-dum, 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 bum, right? Because then it relates back to the opening of the scherzo. All right, your ending, I thought your ending was extremely exciting. So just work on some of these things of not playing tempi that don't serve the music, right? There's so much beautiful music in this. And don't try and do tempi that are just too crazy, right? I mean, unless, it's certainly, there are certain movements in music where it's more prestissimo or, okay, then you have to go a little bit crazy. But then you need to just, you know, have an infusion of 10 espressos at a time so you do not do. Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you. First of all, I just want to say what an unbelievable privilege it is. Thank you to Professor Wege for the invitation to be at this magical place working with all of you. It really is a privilege and an honor and a joy for me to do this. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Does anybody have any questions or comments about everything we just discussed? Is there any thoughts, comments, or no, you're just gonna soak it all in? Okay, fine. No thoughts, comments. Thank you all, and especially to the three of you who played. Thank you. Appreciate it. Beautiful playing.
So real quick, on behalf of the Piano Collective, we just want to thank you for your time.
Thank
So we have a little.
Oh, thank you. Wow, I wasn't expecting presents, and even a cool bag. Wow, who are the Bulldogs?
We are.
Oh, okay. Okay, the mascot. This is fabulous. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed that.
One more time, they're going to show.
Yes, of course.
唔係啊，攞翻你本書。呢個係你。唔怕啦，唔緊要。呢個唔知邊個，我唔知。冇諗多。
I don't know, right?